France, officially the French Republic, is a hexagon-shaped transcontinental country spanning an aggregate area of 643,801 square kilometers across Western Europe and overseas regions and territories in the Americas and the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans. In the modern day, France remains a great power in terms of economy, culture, military, and politics. Since the Paleolithic era, the Celtic tribes known as the Gauls have settled in Gaul, a region of Western Europe, encompassing present-day metropolitan France. During the 2nd and 1st centuries BC, Gaul fell under Roman rule. Following the Gallic Wars led by Julius Caesar, Gaul was divided into 5 parts: Gallia Celtica, Gallia Belgica, Gallia Cisalpina, Gallia Narbonensis, and Gallia Aquitania. Afterwards, Gaul was integrated into the Roman Empire, leading to the emergence of Gallo-Roman culture that laid the foundation of the French language. In 260 AD, a short-lived Gallic empire was established by Roman commander Postumus, but was then retaken by Roman Emperor Aurelian in 274. In the 5th century, Gaul suffered barbarian raids and migration by the Germanic Franks, leading to the formation of the Frankish Empire, which then became the heartland of the Carolingian Empire. In 843, the Treaty of Verdun divided the empire into 3 kingdoms: West Francia, Middle Francia, and East Francia. West Francia then became the Kingdom of France in 987, which was ruled by the House of Capet. Philip II Augustus became the first French monarch to bill himself King of France. By the end of his reign, France emerged as the most powerful state in Europe. In 1328, the House of Valois succeeded to the French throne. Nearly a decade later, England and France entered the 100 Years' War, growing from disputed claims to the French throne between the English royal house of Plantagenet and the French royal house of Valois. The war ended in 1453 with the Valois victory, strengthening French nationalism and increasing the power and reach of the French monarchy. The French Renaissance in the 16th century witnessed the first standardization of the French language and the outbreak of the Italian Wars between France and the House of Habsburg. The war ended with Henry II of France signing the Treaty of Cateau-Cambrésis separately with Elizabeth I of England, and then with Philip II of Spain. In the mid-16th century, France established colonies in eastern North America, the Caribbean, and India, expanding the first French colonial empire. In 1562, the French Wars of Religion broke out between French Catholics and Protestants, or Huguenots, and ended with Henry IV's Edict of Nantes, which granted Huguenots some freedom of religion. Following the 30 Years' War, France reached its peak under the rule of Louis XIV, who expanded French overseas territories in the Americas, Africa, and Asia. However, after the 7 Years' War, France lost New France to Great Britain and Spain in the Treaty of Paris and left the kingdom in a precarious economic situation by the end of the 18th century. In 1789, financial troubles led to the convocation of the Estates General, signaling the outbreak of the French Revolution that overthrew the ancient regime and produced the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen. In 1792, the First French Republic, or Revolutionary France, was founded. A coup d'etat 7 years later changed the form of government from the Directory to the Consulate, bringing General Napoleon Bonaparte to power at First Consul of France. Under the rule of Napoleon, France won several military conflicts during the French Revolutionary Wars against Britain, Austria, Prussia, Russia, and several other monarchies. In 1804, the First French Empire was declared. Napoleon crowned himself emperor and began his massive expansion of France in Europe via what became known as the Napoleonic Wars, a series of major global conflicts against European states formed into various coalitions, extending French influence to much of Western Europe. Austria, Russia, Denmark, Norway, and Prussia had been browbeaten into becoming allies. Only the United Kingdom remained fully beyond his reach. However, Napoleon's defeat in the Battle of Waterloo in 1815 marked the end of the First French Empire and the beginning of the Bourbon Restoration. After the death of Napoleon, The country was politically unstable, but economically strong. In 1848, following the February Revolution, the Second Republic was established, with Louis Napoleon Bonaparte as the president, who initiated the Second French Empire and proclaimed himself Emperor Napoleon III from 1852. In 1870, after its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War against the North German Confederation, the Second French Empire collapsed, paving the way for the French Third Republic. During the late 19th century, the Third Republic established many French colonial possessions, including French Indochina, French Madagascar, French Polynesia, and large territories in West Africa. By the 20th century, the French colonial empire became the world's second largest colonial empire. As World War I broke out in 1914, France joined the side of the Triple Entente with Russia and Britain against the Triple Alliance, including Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. Two sides later formed the Allied Powers and the Central Powers, respectively. After 4 years, World War I ended with the victory of France and its allies, but led to the deaths of 3.4 million French. In 1919, the Paris Peace Conference gathered leaders of Britain, Italy, France, and the United States to set peace terms for the defeated Central Powers. The main result was the Treaty of Versailles, giving France the territories they had lost during the Franco-Prussian War, and heavily punishing Germany with expensive war reparations. In 1939, Germany's invasion of Poland caused France and Britain to declare war against Germany, triggering the Second World War, during which France joined as an allied power against the Axis. In 1940, France was invaded by Nazi Germany, and Paris soon fell to the Germans. France was then divided into a German occupation zone in the south, an Italian occupation zone in the southeast, and an unoccupied territory. In June 1940, under the lead of French General Charles de Gaulle, Free France was set up as a government in exile in London, coordinating the French resistance during the war. In July 1940, a German puppet state known as Vichy France was established to govern the unoccupied part of France and its colonies. 2 years later, all of Vichy France was occupied by German forces. In 1943, Corsica was the first French metropolitan territory to gain independence from the Axis. In June 1944, the Allied invaded Normandy and in August, invaded Provence, paving the way for the liberation of Paris and continental France later that month. The Provisional Government of the French Republic, GPRF, was established by de Gaulle to continue to wage war against Germany until its complete defeat 1 year later. On October 13, 1946, the GPRF was replaced by the Fourth Republic, opening an era of great economic growth in France. In an attempt to regain control over French Indochina, France was defeated by the Viet Minh in the Battle of the Dien Bien Phu. In the wake of the Algerian War between France and the Algerian National Liberation Front, the Fourth Republic was dissolved and replaced by the French Fifth Republic, with Charles de Gaulle as the first president. In the following years, Algeria and most French colonies gained independence from France, while some smaller parts were integrated into France as overseas departments and collectives. In 2017, Emmanuel Macron, founder of a new party, Le Républicain en Marche, was elected president of the French Republic and was re-elected in the 2022 presidential election. Today, France is a developed country with the world's 7th largest economy by nominal GDP, and also a great power in global affairs, being one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, and a recognized nuclear weapon state. France is the founding member of the European Union and the Eurozone, and a key member of the Group of 7, NATO, OECD, and La Francophonie.
Thanks for watching. If you find this information useful, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more videos of history.